Oh!
Is that it? Yeah, that's the one, eh?
Oh!
It's not loud enough. I'm not fucking giving myself here.
Oh!
Yeah, here we go. Test. Welcome back to another episode of the Bandwagon Bible. Joined by no introduction needed. Jerome O'Connor, owner of Uptowns, can sing, has a great set of pipes. And of course, we're joined by Thomas Cronin. How are we, lads?
That's probably our best intro yet.
That was an introduction, though.
Did you like that?
I needed that introduction.
Did you like that? Now, here we are. We're obviously in the Uptowns bar, probably the best bar in Newcastle. Now,
I'm just going to sit here red-faced the whole time with chicks. I don't take compliments well, but thank you. I really appreciate it.
Jerome is he's shy away from a mic, I must say. Everyone knows him around the old industry.
He's got to be the coolest cat in Newcastle.
Honestly, bro.
Oh God, now we're starting.
Before we get into this, we're just going to drop him out quick. I remember when I first moved to Newey, Tommy was showing me the ropes. I don't know where. I think you used to play at. I know you always played the Brew, but did you play the Customs a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes, bro. That's when I first saw you, and I was like, "Holy fuck!"
Customs used
Life's
to go
good,
off,
man.
eh?
Customs was the place.
It was unreal.
Yeah, me and Tommy used to run a bit of a muck there, actually.
The Wednesday night muck. Yeah.
That's when we're both, single, ready to mingle.
How good was a Wednesday night?
Oh, man, it was unreal, bro.
Wednesday nights were my favourite. I remember $6 vodkas at the Cane Bar.
Yeah. It used to be every Wednesday.
I'm old. But
I'm 25.
I'm 30.
I'm 23.
You're not 30.
I tell everyone I'm 27.
You're a liar. You look 27.
Very good. So obviously we're in Uptowns. Jerome, do you want to tell us a little bit about that, mate?
I've got a great story. I've got great stories about this.
I'm here to listen.
So everyone said don't do it.
That sounded like us, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That's why I kind of really love you guys. I like heaps because I was in the same kind of boat.
Is this where we kiss?
Yes, I'll start cuddling and shit. So I've always been a muso and gone to different venues and thought what was cool and what wasn't.
Yeah.
And I just liked really obscure shit. So 5 years ago, even older, I liked console games. I like Sega Mega Drive. I like sneakers, and I love that shit. And I thought, how cool would it be to just have a nostalgic bar? And this was ages ago before everyone started doing it. Everyone started wearing vintage tees and all that shit. And I live with Mo Matthews. You know Mo?
No, I don't actually.
You got to know Mo, man. He was on Big Brother, and now he owns some of the venues in town. Anyway, he's the coolest cat, and he always has the craziest ideas. We live together, and one day we're walking to get a burrito, and he sees an empty space, and he always, with all their venues, comes up with just crazy ideas all the time. And people either go, "Oh no, that's stupid," or "That's awesome," and he goes, "Oh, that space would be cool to open up a cafe where you get your sneakers cleaned while you have coffee."
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking sick.
I see you, bro.
But this was on the cusp before people cared about their sneakers. And I was like, oh, maybe, but it wouldn't work. So we're talking, and then a week later he goes, oh, you know that idea that I was thinking about? He's like, what do you reckon we could also have some type of, I don't know, games or something? And I was like, hang on. I thought you were just speaking of me. I thought you and he goes, oh, no, I'll just talk about it. And then he calls me 2 weeks later, like he said, we're living together, but he's like at work, and he's like, hey, what do you reckon would be a good name for this place? And I'm like, bro,
what's happening?
What place?
This is moving too fast.
This place. And then in the really cool part of the story is he calls me up and he goes, I found a spot for this place.
The spot.
He goes, a couple of my other business mates who own meat, they've got to put all their time into meat now, so they need to get rid of a little spot they've had.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, we haven't even fucking talked about what's happening here.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, let's go have a look at the space. On the day of coming and look at the space, he calls me and he goes, man, the guys will meet you there at 5. The guys will meet you there at 5. I actually can't have anything to do with this because I've got so much other stuff tied up. So, because he's doing festivals and he's got other cafes. He's got a bit on. He says, I can't do any of this with you, so just go have a look and see how it goes. And I was like, fuck. So this, and then enters. So first of all, I didn't want to do nothing, but I just had cool ideas.
Yeah.
And I'd always want to do console games, and I was really into sneakers at that point. So now I've got a venue that I'm looking at that I've got no idea what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm like, I can't do this by myself. So on the way to come down here to have a look at it, I called my best mate Sam Earp. And we used to work on the front of Argyle as hosts. So we were the first.
With the mostest.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
That were some of the glory days.
$10.
Man, I would have loved to have shown up at Argyle and have you
just
two
you
at the
two,
front.
in ties, like white shirt tie. And so we already knew that we were compatible. And I called him compatible
I
as
love
in
that
like,
shit, man. Yeah.
So I call him and I'm driving down here. I said, hey man, you ever thought about opening a bar? And he goes, no. I was like,
This could be us.
well, I think I'm on my way. I'm thinking about opening one. He goes, oh, cool. I said, I'm on my way down now to look at one. And he goes, sweet, I'll meet you there. Like, this is how shit.
that's
What a
unreal,
fucking
man.
legend.
I love that.
So we step in, the place doesn't look anything like this, and we look around, and he goes, "Yeah, let's do it." And then the rest is history. So I came up with the birthed the idea, and he
Yeah.
was the only one that kind of really trusted me. And yeah. So I said, I want sneakers. I want a floating sneaker table that people can sit at and look at thousands of sneakers.
That's
And
so
people laughed, man. And he was like, "Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'll make it happen." Like, because we built the place pretty much as well. And
Yeah.
I even remember like people would stop in and be like, "Oh, really? Like, why you got a basketball court up here? You know what I mean? Like, why you got? Who's going to play Sega while they're drinking?" And now it's
Everyone.
like, yeah,
Everyone.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Why else are you coming here? Everyone's going to sit at these fucking tables.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
play the game, man.
Yeah. So that and then that's birthed into we opened, and it became. We thought it'd be a little speakeasy.
Yeah.
Where 30, 40 people come in,
Make
Yeah.
money.
and now it's like a nightclub.
Business is booming.
It's great. It's great.
No, man, it's so good to see you succeed at that as well. Because I remember, like, even speaking to like mutual friends of ours, and they were just like, "Yeah, but Jerome's leaving a lot of money on the table to do it." Like, I love that he's going to do what he's doing, but
Yeah.
because you were
I was gigging full. I was
non-stop.
gigging full time gigs and doing. I was in the corporate realm, which is much more, money than gigging at the
Beneficial.
pub. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's it. And I was like, I wanted to use the creativity. I wanted to create a place first of all, but then I was also like, got sick ideas. I wonder if they'll work. And then you get worried on opening day. I'm like,
Oh, man,
Who's
that's
going to
if no
turn up,
one
man?
fucking comes
Who's going
up?
to turn up, man?
Yeah. That's why it's good to have that friend that just backs it.
Yeah. And
let's
then
go.
I was like, if we go down together.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
then also too, I was like, please don't fucking.
That's us, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
That's us, bro.
There you go. Well, this is a perfect segue
Yeah.
into you guys.
Yeah.
And I suppose it doesn't matter what it is. If you've got someone that backs you, like how many stories do you hear of, like the Elon Musks or the J. Coles or the everyone when they were just nothing and they just had
Exactly.
someone that backed
Boom.
them a little bit.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
then it blows
That's all
up.
you need.
Yeah.
I love how spontaneous that is too. Like, there was not a big plan put down.
No.
Just rolling with it.
You
Don't
didn't
you
go
reckon
see the
that-
accountant. Or
Yeah,
anything like that. You just
I'm
went,
not like
bang,
trying to
pull it.
plan it out. So, seeing it, I did my licensee course
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fucking month before we opened or something. I had nothing.
Boom.
Yes, have to.
I'm sure that's this. I mean, because I actually want to ask you guys questions too. Like, what? So, as my ex-wife,
Yoo-hoo.
put that on. Like, who comes to who? Like, what? How was Bandwagon birthed? And I'm not sure whether you get interviewed on your own podcast.
No,
but now I do.
I like it, man. We like bounce off each
You
other.
want to host?
I reckon short story is we're always going to pull the trigger. We talked about it all through 20s in Canberra. We moved down here, and then
Hey, on Canberra.
Yeah, we both lived back in Canberra.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
both used
sorry.
to play 20s.
You mates from Canberra and you moved to Newcastle together.
I basically followed Tommy like a little puppy.
I like it.
I love him.
I like it. I love it too. He's so attractive.
You don't have to tell me that, bro. I'm going red talking about it.
you, bro.
No, I need to let something out. 'cause
This
I'm
is my
sweating.
podcast, man. But yeah, we followed him, and then basically Tommy, we were just sitting on the kitchen table. We had a couple of beers, obviously. I was just like, fuck it, let's just pull the trigger. And next thing you know, Tommy got to the designing.
So,
we were talking about it for a little while, but to be honest, I didn't think we'd do it. Like, it was
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
idea that's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
And Harry's just like,
These
probably-
taste so good.
Harry's just the most spontaneous person that I know. And he
That's-
was just
but-
like, one of those mornings, it was just like, all right, let's do it. Like, seriously, where
That's
do
so
we
good.
start?
Yeah, so we just started, like, obviously we didn't use our Instagram page, but we started Instagram pages. We, got the ball rolling with all
Yeah.
our designs and shit.
We
And-
had the worst samples at
Oh,
the start. and
so
all this
bad.
crap and-
AS Colors, baby.
yeah, we had worse ones from I don't even know where. And
Is that
they're
the dog one?
Yeah,
That's the AS Color one.
Was it
Yeah, they were
always-
the OGs. We full had Bandwagon written there with a dog underneath it because I got a puppy at the time, little bounce, and I was like, I'll be mad to put a dog on a Bandwagon. What a stupid idea. But just like looking back, I've still got that shirt.
You grow though. Hey,
100,
like,
yeah.
But what? So was it always going to be sustainable? Was it always going to be?
I
Was it
think-
just an idea of clothing at the time?
It was just an idea of business. I think we just wanted to start something of our own.
And we just wanted to be different.
Yeah, we just wanted to do something that we could do and that we could give back to causes that we care about if we actually earn any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And clothing
yeah.
came up and we were kind of iffy about it at the start.
Yeah.
And then finding that sustainable way to do it was kind of like our point of
Yeah.
differentiation. you know?
I think the coolest part, especially today, me and Tommy just parked up. I like have a toolbox where I've got heaps of clothes in the back just for like homeless people and things like that. And one of the boys I know I cut just at Soul Cafe here, he was just there getting a feed, and I was like, oh man, do you need any shirts, you need anything? We had a heap of Bandwagon gear there as well. So I just gave him a heap of gear, and I think it's shit like that where, you know, like obviously he's a homeless man, but he's wearing our gear, you know what I mean? Like he's not wearing anyone else's. I think it's a little shit like that. Like we support mental health and things like that.
Dude, doing it. Here's the thing, organically too. You doing that is organic. You guys wanting to be able to have a point of difference, but also caring enough.
Well, it just feels good to do good.
Because anyone can whip up a shirt and sell it and try and make a profit. Because I can imagine that it ain't cheap trying to get ethically sourced.
No.
We have zero margins, and that's all right.
Yeah, and
move on.
I can imagine.
Yeah, everything hard on the sleeve stuff for us. So we'll keep rolling until she kicks over. But things are going. things are up, man. Things are up, man.
That's good. You've got to start somewhere. That's amazing. But kudos, hats off.
Oh yes,
brother.
No, I'm serious.
You've been supporting us for a while.
You're a good man, jumped on.
I mean, I like being conscious about that kind of stuff, because we don't really get options in this world to be conscious. So therefore, when an option comes up, I mean, you guys sent me stuff, and I was like, "What the fuck's this? Like, this is holy shit!" And then I actually like the shirts, so that's a bonus.
That does help. You
know what I mean? Like, I like the cuts. I like that. That one you got, the last one you sent me, that feels a little bit more royal, and it's got it's got a thick
one.
Yeah,
that's a really good
oversize.
shirt. That's a really good shirt.
Thanks,
I really like
that's
that.
our favourites, actually.
Easily.
So therefore I'm going to wear it. You know what I mean? It's not like like I'm doing you a favour. Like I'm like, fuck yeah, good shit.
Yeah,
this is good. So I mean, and it's always good to support your mates.
Thanks, man. I feel privileged. Now we're going to move forward. Now we're going to chat on music real quick. Won't brush over it too long because, we got other things to talk about. Life, Yep. Now, music as a kid, for me growing up, I don't know if it's the same for Tommy, but my parents sort of pushed me in that way where they're like, righto, you need to play piano, you need to play something. So I sort of played piano. Me and my brothers played piano for so long. Was it the same with you when you grew up? Is your parents sort of push you in that direction?
Mum was a musical person.
Okay, cool.
And I always wanted to play the drums. And
really?
You can imagine
bolts and holes.
Yeah,
I've seen you play the drums.
Good,
man.
I love playing the drums. Man. It's my passion, my number one passion. So the story goes, I wanted to play drums, but we were poor growing up, so we lived in a housing commission house, which is like all next to everyone in the neighbourhood. Yeah, so we couldn't get drums because it would have.
Can you imagine?
Noise can be fuck. Not only it said mum crazy, and a drum kit's super expensive. So
yeah, they don't miss you.
So I'm like, one day I'm sitting in the back of the car, and when you're a kid, I was 9. Oh, sorry.
The beers, man.
I tried to fucking... These seltzers are like blowing me about to pop. So I'm sitting in the back of the car, and as a kid, you're just like, I want to be a builder. I want to be a whippersnipper, man.
That was me too.
And I was like,
I wanted to be a chippy.
I was like, I want to play guitar. And then as soon as I said that, mum went and got a $99 guitar, which is really easy to get.
Yep.
And then that's how it started. And mum was the big key in that because she really pushed me because I was kind of a little bit of not a problem child, but I definitely had ADHD or something. Yeah. So I was in trouble at school, and I think she just wanted to push something on me that made focus. Yeah. And it was, man, as soon as I got something in front of me and started learning, I was fucking addicted.
Yeah.
I was like,
more guitar.
Slap. More
guitar. So that's what it was. Mum was music. She loved listening to all the I mean, not hip hop and R&B, but all the
trending,
the funk and the black music and the Motown and the blues, and she loved it. You know what I mean? And therefore, I grew up loving all that type of music and Kool and the Gang and Earth, Wind and Fire. And
September.
So for that on guitar is fun and funky. So that's why I love playing that shit. Like you've seen it.
Yeah.
So you dabble in, obviously. You're mad on guitar, good on drums. You keyboard?
A little bit. I understand the keyboard.
Yep.
The keyboard. I understand it, but I would not call myself a...
can play around with it though.
Yeah, I can play
you're a bad man. You're a bad man.
These fingers can work.
Hey, that's the truth. Oh, I've seen the man work a crowd. Can only imagine how he works everything else.
Shit.
Absolutely.
Now, music. You guys take emails from people?
Can you send some?
Complaints? Yeah, complaints.
We haven't got any reviews yet.
You're about to get your first bad one.
Beauty. Now, do you write your own music too, or?
I do. When I was a kid going through school, I was in an originals band, wrote all my shit.
Yeah.
Recorded all that stuff, but it's only on the computer. So now that I do it for work, it's a little harder to do it for.
Yeah, you can't really turn up.
So
to
I reckon what I'll do now is when everything kind of gets back to normality after all this, I've got songs on my computer that I'll just record properly, like spend some money, record properly, just put them out and not care if they blow up or not. I think back in the day in school, I used to write stuff and be like, this is going to blow up. And it just, you're a kid. It never does.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you get this heart. And so then if you make shirts, you make clothes and you do it because you love it rather than expecting it all to absolutely go fucking
just
wild.
wanting that money.
Then it's a little bit more satisfying rather than being like disheartened. I remember releasing music and going to band comps and losing all the time and doing this and that. And I was just like, oh, this is shit. And I was like, well, I used to do it for fun.
Yeah. That's such a good way to put it, man. It's similar, probably not as similar, but even just with rugby league, like when
rugby league, greatest game of all.
When we decided to give it up because we were chasing that.
Were you doing this in Canberra?
Yeah.
So were you playing for anyone?
We were. We both played juniors for Canberra Raiders back in the day.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking? Dude,
we had a combo of doom, man. Like Tommy would get through half a game and be injured, and then I'd go to fullback, and then he'd go to wing. We just swap.
I was always injured. I was terrible, but
injury prone.
It just started like I was good as a junior, man. When I was like confident and played for fun, I used to step around and do whatever the hell you wanted, and then you kind of make that rep level, and all I wanted to do was just not make a mistake. That's all I was trying to do. And
so you didn't enjoy the game. You were stressing.
It started to become a chore, and
I think that's what did it for me as well.
Biggest weight off your shoulders, kind of thing.
100%.
And then when you moved to Newey, was that for football?
It was for football originally, yeah. And it just kind of put me away from everyone else that I was used to being with. Because when I moved up, I didn't know a soul up here. I half knew the coach who got me up here. Yeah. Besides that, there was not a single person up in Newcastle that I knew the name.
And then, so what? You were just like, all right, well, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah,
dude. That in my mind, because I've never done anything crazy. Like this is probably the biggest step out I've ever done. But
it's a big step out.
Yeah, but moving to another fucking place is a big step out. I suppose you got your best mate to come with you, but
yeah,
let's not push that best mate.
He came a year after. So I had a good year up here. Where it was just
it's 6 months. You came up 6 months before me.
Yeah, it was 6 months.
Yeah, you came halfway through the season.
And then what you doing for 6 months?
I
spent all his money.
Training. I didn't have a job for the first 2 months, so I had a little bit of money saved up, and I was looking back. I was just talking to my brother about this not that long ago. Looking back, man, those were tough times, but I don't remember them as tough times because I was just
cruising.
Doing it. And I was looking back, and I was like, I had no money. I was like going to Woolworths. You know how you could.
I think your saving grace was being able to have that routine where you go to training 4 days a week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But even then, like, because I was doing online uni, so it was tough times. But I was going to Woolies, and this is before they had the weighted system. I was like buying like microwave meals, but like 2 for 1 sneaky deal for myself.
Yeah,
just putting one through and actually like paying for one.
And then what were you living just by yourself? Or with
you're in a
the first
dump,
place
bro.
I moved up was a dump. There was like a
in Mayfield,
It was a TAFE accommodation.
No way.
Yeah, I was just living by myself in like a big share TAFE accommodation. The lady across from me used to just wake up at 1 a.m. screaming and crying, and one of the other ladies would just like smoke weed non-stop. And
so you did this for like, so you were like, I'm going to play for the Knights.
Yeah, that was.
But you had no guarantee.
No, zero. I was.
So you moved here and you had no guarantee, but you were just like, I'm going to fucking train and hustle.
Give a crack.
And then how do you get? Because you end up playing for reserves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I played a couple of games in New South Wales Cup. I was in and out, kind of.
You played a fair bit.
Yeah, a couple.
When you first came down, you were straight in because they had like obviously
they were struggling. That's why they got me up originally.
Well, you killed it regardless.
Stop it.
This is lovely, man.
This is Thomas Conan compliments.
This is a really positive, and then uplifting little time. Can we do this when the cameras are off as well? Yes. Yeah. So you moved. 100%. Like what we were just talking about. You know, once it goes past that place, I've always been let down. Oh, I'm fucking let down. I didn't get selected, or I didn't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, fuck, I'm not having any fun.
Yeah, it used to be fun.
Man, it used to be fun, and then it just got sucked.
Because you finished up.
I just finished, man. Yeah, I played my last year cup this year. We only ended up playing 16, 17 games or something, but we were going to play finals before COVID hit. I only played 7 or 8. And it's just so political, man. I was just at that point where it's just like, enough's enough, man. It's time to build a future and grow up, eh?
Think about other things, yeah.
Would you go back? Are you still good?
Man, I don't really feel like it, hey. I like waking up not hurt.
Man, it's so good, bro. It's so good.
I saw that you had KP and the boys on.
Lucky, very, very lucky.
Very lucky to be able to play against KP, just to have that relationship.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to listen, but I don't know if he feels, because he's got all this pressure on his shoulders. Does he say anything about being like, it would be easier for me just to fucking not do it, or is it because he's the golden boy?
He's amazingly grateful, you know. For
He's
some,
so
like
cool,
if
bro.
I had the amount of exposure that he had at his age when he was so young, and
he got
plus,
exposed at
on top
17,
of that,
bro.
all the money that he got, I would be the most arrogant prick.
Yeah,
he's
I mean, what do you do,
Australia.
bro? How do you just say the same conversation to the same fan every day? That was one of the questions we asked on the podcast. We're like, man, like, how do you do it? He's like, man, you just got to do it. Got to be grateful. That was his way.
That being grateful is a massive thing, and you can always tell with him. You know, I've only got to kick it with him a couple of times, but you know, he's humble, grateful,
Cool, bro.
and
Very cool.
yet everyone else holds him at this massive regard, but I can imagine I can just imagine the pressure. On him.
Massive.
Yeah, I think it's lucky because he comes in the barbershop as well. But a lot of people are like, oh, I saw you cut KP. Does is he a wanker like everyone says, man? Like, where are you getting this from? Like, one,
I think people just think
it's just like, where are you getting this stereotype from? He's the coolest dude.
It's just that tall,
Fucking
poppy
so
syndrome.
vibey, bro.
Tall poppy syndrome.
It's
Man.
easy to hate
Yeah,
the
it's
one
just
on
like,
top.
man, don't hate the dude that's killing it.
And the
Like,
man is on top.
he did steal my spot, but that's life, bro. I love you, bro.
Oh shit!
But we'll just move forward from there.
Hey, go for it.
Now, I would say you have some kind of following on, for your bars, for your singing, for your socials.
Yeah.
Bro, you're mad on...
Not really,
No,
but I do like it.
You're mad on your clothes, you're mad on your shoes, like that kind of stuff. Like, what?
And
why?
I didn't even wear nothing good today. Damn it.
This is you wearing
Come
nothing
on,
good.
man. What am I saying? I'm with pluggers here, boy. How come you never designed your own shoe, or you started your own shoe company, or
dude,
clothing?
yeah,
Or
okay.
it has been along that way.
I think I don't have the passion to design. I have the passion for product. So I'll see good shoes and and here's the thing. Now everyone sees Jordans and they go, oh, I've got to get them, or they're good shoes. So therefore it's a consumer buying thing. I buy stuff because if I like it, and then so therefore I was like I didn't really have any desire to design because I'm like I don't really know how to. But if someone else designed something fucking cool, I'm like that's
mad.
That's
awesome.
cool.
Let's go.
Like remember when things weren't cool, and then you would be like, oh, I kind of like that. Like everyone for a while there wasn't wearing New Balance because the dad shoe.
Yeah.
They're back.
And I had some pairs of New Balance, so I never wore them because I was like, I think they're cool. But then now people think they're cool, and I'm like,
So you were like, I reckon you were like way ahead of everyone else before it came back. You know what I mean?
I just thought that things were cool before the
cool.
masses. Not even saying I thought things were cool for cool. I just liked the look of things before people started thinking that they were cool.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make me cool. It sounds so fucking cliche, but you know what I mean.
What? It's exactly what I like about this place. Like when everyone's saying that it's not going to work, laughing in your face, blah blah blah, and you were just like, well, I think it's cool.
I think it's cool.
And
Yeah.
all it is, man, is being authentic. And we've spoken about this with a couple of other people that we got on, artists, etc. Man, or especially anyone that's got like that creative kind of mind. Yeah. It's just like that. Trying to fake something that other people think is cool never works.
Yeah, never works. Like if I jumped on the bandwagon of vintage stuff or doing this now, I actually I would hate to do that because it feels fake.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, but if you just like whatever you like, you just do and try and be yourself, and you're probably one of those people that is just always.
Well, I was going to say, like, let's be honest, you got heaps going on as it is. I can only imagine you throwing that on top of that.
Oh yeah, that'd be special. I'm already trying to I am trying to design something cool for the staff here.
Yeah, love it.
And I get down these rabbit holes of like, I got to do something fucking so cool. And
Is it like we talking like uniforms?
Yeah.
Is there any chance you'll sell extras? Because I think Tommy and I could be interested.
Yeah, we will. Maybe we'll do a bandwagon one.
Yes.
Collabs.
Would you do something?
No.
Absolutely, man. We're working. We need to do more collabs. We're doing a collab with the artist in Nui.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Jakey Watts.
Jake Watts Art.
Oh, Jakey Watts.
Yeah.
I love Jakey Watts.
Yeah.
Cool dude, man.
Dude, okay, here's a great story. Jakey Watts.
I love this.
So I would rock up and play. And look, I know we've got time.
No, we got heaps of time. We'll just reset it. We'll just reset it, bro.
Fucking reset. We're actually talking.
We got heaps of time, bro. We got heaps of time.
Let me tell
Just need to know for when we keep talking, bro.
So Jakey Watts, so I would play at Five Sawyers, which is a venue in town.
Yeah, that's where you used to run, eh?
And I used to play there a fair bit, and Jakey Watts was running it, and I would see him unhappy.
Yeah.
Like I would see him
just doing it
pouring
because
drinks,
it was
man.
pain.
But you know what I mean? I'm managing, and we get stuck in these ways of like, and this is what I learned because I used to work 40-hour weeks at a retail store, and then the only reason that got me out of that is that they went into liquidation, and I was like,
true.
"Fuck working in why am I doing a job that I hate?" I was like, "I'm going to try and do music," and then I did it. Now I'm the happiest I've ever been.
That blessing in disguise.
Yeah, exactly. So then I saw him hating it, and I was like, what is this guy do? And I remember he was doing art on the side, and then I think it just came to the point where he's like, "Man, guys, I'm not happy. I'm just gonna fucking do art."
Yeah.
And then I see him maybe because I would only ever see him at the bar at the place, and I see him, rolling through with his misso. He's got this big smile and he's just happy.
Yeah.
All that fucking the weight of the stress of earning money and not, and now he's killing it.
Yeah.
Now like getting commissioned for art and everything.
Proper.
He's just doing the crap that he actually loves to do, man.
Yeah. That's a big thing for everyone, man. That's the same thing. My missus just did the same thing, where she's always worked for the man, and then she was really good at makeup, and I was just like, just fucking do it.
Do it, yeah.
And then now she's doing it, and she comes home, she's working twice as hard, and she's like, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
that's a
thing.
big
When you go to work and you're doing something you want to do, and it's for you.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've learned over the last, however long, but won't say much about it now, but we're moving into a new space, in a new different kind of part for Bandwagon and for myself as well. I think I'm not going to say that, but just having your own space is sick.
No, absolutely.
What was I going to say?
You can do no.
Feather shop.
Just whisper.
Yeah.
If we're whispering in the microphone, that's hilarious.
Having your own space is massive. It's why we got the shed originally, man, so we could...
The shed you're in looks sick.
It is mad, man. Yeah,
We're out of
very
it next
mad.
week, bro.
We're moving
Got
out
something
of it
more
soon.
exciting coming.
Big things coming.
Big things coming, bro.
You're doing a warehouse. You're doing a little fucking...
Hey, bro. Hey, off air, man. Off air, man.
Shit, I want in.
Fingers crossed it comes through, man.
In 2 weeks' time, something
Otherwise, we'll be back in the shed, bro.
Back in the garage now.
Where it all began. All right. Now, Uptowns Bar.
Yes.
Retro feel.
Yep.
What's your favourite thing about coming to work other than it's yours
Yeah.
and the fact that you're different? Like, what does Uptowns mean to you, bro?
I hate work. No, I'm joking. No one likes working. So I built this place for to be the side hustle. So when it first opened, I was here all the time because I really wanted to. Same with Sam. You know what I mean? He doesn't really want. We don't really want to bartend, but we're here to just make sure it was good.
Yeah.
And you get a good team. But seeing people in here loving it, like seeing people come in and be like, holy fuck,
This is great.
you're playing, I got Ninja Turtles on the wall.
Yeah.
You got Buzz Lightyear over there. Like,
Yeah.
and people coming in and being like, I've got that basketball card that's on the wall, playing Street Fighter. Like that is
Finish him.
yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Tommy doesn't know about that.
That is you're a bit young. Oh no, you'll say that. But it's I just got it.
Welcome to the Bandwagon Bible.
Shit. So that's kind of like, it doesn't need to mean anything crazy, but that means something when people are enjoying a spot that you.
Yeah.
Like people will come out because it's this vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because really before that, and I know it seems like if anyone's watching this that doesn't live in Newcastle, it seems like this is God's gift to Newey, but it's just that Newey doesn't have
so good.
a whole massive representation of cool, quirky bars, but this is one of them. So
This is easily, like, I'm not being biased because I'm here, but I didn't know you when I first came here, right? Like, I obviously knew of you, but like even just coming in here, the vibe's always good. There's no like pressure. There's no like you feel like people have got to move on or anything like that. It's always just a good vibe.
Well, I just want people to be having fun. That's literally it. That's all I've ever wanted.
Like I won't name the name, but I went to a street that starts with P and ends with Y, and it's a big. And you only get an hour and a half slot, and I was on my Chrissy party on the weekend, and they pushed us out. Yeah, I was like, you're just losing business. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they got heaps going on, but it's just little things like that.
Yeah. This is a tough time to that at the moment, but I get what you're saying. You want a place that you feel like you can just be here all night.
Just kick back and have fun.
Not when you get to, when you get to a place sometimes when you're like, all right, where are we going next?
That was us after that. End up at the Grand Hotel. Beauty.
That's never a good idea. No.
I couldn't agree with you anymore. All right, Tommy, you got something there, my brother?
Yeah, man. Still on the topic of Uptowns, obviously.
Oh, shit.
You the big decision to stop gigging at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've done music for... How long were you doing music before that?
10 years, I think. That's a long time, bro.
Yeah,
10 years.
Yeah, so you've stopped music. You've been doing it for 10 years. You were hot, in demand.
Very hot.
And here's the thing too. I'm not the most talented dude. Like,
wow.
No, but
the most talented in this room.
And like, here's the thing. You hate talking yourself up, but then also too, you hate those people that are like, no, I'm not
humble
good.
Guys.
Like I know that I'm good, but I'm just not the best. But not being the best isn't always necessarily what it is.
Yeah.
It's how hard you work.
100.
And so
it
there's
ain't
dudes
about how hard
like,
you get hit.
like my friend Committee Levi.
Yep.
The big,
Legend.
big black
Big
guy.
man.
Man,
Absolute legend, bro.
Incredible.
Set of pipes.
700 times better singing than me. You know what I mean? And he's doing good things too, and a whole bunch of other friends, you know. But there's people that just might not have taken the leap. When I did it, it was all I couldn't. Like
Yeah.
you, I didn't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
You gotta
So
swim.
I had to make the best videos, and then I had to do the hustle with doing the gigs all around the place,
Yeah.
and then I'd put my foot in the door for commercial stuff and for weddings and for functions, rather than just settling for doing the pubs. So that was that's where it came success. That's when it became successful.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I sung one day and everyone was like, "Holy fuck, he's
He can
amazing!"
sing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't
The
like
boy
that.
can
sing.
It wasn't like that at all. Like, dude, I got on The Voice and I got rejected in front of 1 million people. You know what I mean?
Did you really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that, man. That's
I
unreal.
know. I did
Like,
do a
so
bit of
that's
research
what I mean.
on
I
that.
was good enough to get on there because they audition like
Yeah.
thousands and thousands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And then only the top 100 get to sing for the judges.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, I remember I went down there and I was on the day and they literally, I sing and like none of the chairs turn around and it's live
What season
on
was
TV.
that?
What happens after?
Dude, exactly.
What happens
What are
after?
you all saying? Oh, well done, guys. Well done.
Because it's great because they cut to the next person, but you got to walk.
I'm on stage, it's like, fuck.
Someone, please
also
turn
too-
around, man.
But also
man.
too, because I'm a real muso that I didn't like those singing shows. But
Yeah.
my ex-wife at the time, who's a fucking legend, we're best friends now. But
Yeah.
she put my video forward for it, and I got through the first
Oh,
round.
right,
And I was like,
okay.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
She's like, just do the second one, and I got through the second one. And then they're like, all right, the producers want to see it, so you did the third one, and
Oh,
they're like,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're in through to the chairs.
Yeah.
And so you've got these famous people sitting in
in
front
a
of you,
chair, yeah.
and I'm like, holy shit! And then you sing, they don't turn around. I wasn't really phased, but it was more like the rejection on TV.
Yeah.
Like being like,
Live TV.
fuck, how embarrassing. And like, I didn't sing very well. It was on the first season, and then, but I think is it Benji from Good Charlotte
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Joel,
I
whichever
think it
one.
was Benji on there.
So that none of them turn around, and then they turn and they talk to you, and they're like, "Oh man, you were good," but
Yeah.
And then he comes up and gives me this fucking hug, and I was like, "Holy fucking
Yeah.
this is legit, man!"
Yeah,
and I was
that's
I was
full on.
spinning out, but then I was like, at the end of it, I was like, "It's probably a blessing in disguise." I didn't want to go down that sellout kind of route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wouldn't have been authentic.
Yeah,
Like getting back to what we're
exactly,
talking
man.
about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so doing that, and then so it made me hustle harder to earn money doing gigging.
Yeah.
And then when I gave it all up, I didn't give it all up, like as in I gave it all away, but I wanted to stop doing that because it was taken away from creativity.
The stuff you wanted to do.
Doing stuff from Boston. Because so it got so busy that I was missing out on seeing all my friends on the
Yeah,
weekends,
yeah.
as we all do doing hospo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then hanging out, like taking daughter to birthday parties, and I was like, fuck, that's the shit that actually I'm going to care about.
Yeah, there's
not the
bigger
money.
things.
Yeah.
I feel ya.
So then this place was kind of like, the good side hustle that I'm like, this could kind of tick along without me having to be here
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
So I just worked hard, started this. It actually went well. So then I was like, all prepared to finish up, and then COVID happened. So
Oh,
I'm still gigging.
That was my
Still-
next jump there.
Yeah, go for it. Go
Was
for it.
you've opened up this bar, massive leap of faith. It kills it. It does better. Did it do better than your expectations?
Yeah, man. I didn't think that. I thought, literally, like I said before, that it would be me and Sam both. We thought, we'll put 60 seats out,
Yeah.
and we'll probably never fill them. 60 seats.
Yeah.
And then now, there's 90 to 100 people in here and a line outside, like it's a mini
Booked out,
nightclub.
man, yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? So
Yeah.
it does better than what you expect, and you just also you always want to make it better
Yeah.
for people, which I never want to be like, we're busy, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, we're killing
We're
it. I
busy,
never
yeah,
want to be like that.
done.
I want to be like,
Yeah.
always, making it better than what it was when they first come.
Yeah,
But
perfect, man. And then, so what a roller coaster it is
Yeah,
when
yeah.
COVID hits. What goes through your head?
Yeah. What does go through your head?
it was fucked.
Did you get
Everyone
subsidy
said-
from the government?
Yeah, we did, but when this all first happened, everyone would have been at home too. Like me and my partner Hannah, she has never really been good with money because she hasn't really had much money. So she's
Yeah.
like, and I was very strategic with my money because when I grew up pretty poor, it's like when you got money, it was like,
Yeah,
you've got
do
to
something with
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Do the right things.
And so I would always be good with money. So when it all happened, and they're like, hospitality venues are closing down, no weddings, no nothing. So like literally both of my incomes were just absolutely gone. Like we were sitting down at the table working out how many weeks until we'd have to move back in.
Until you
with
could
mum.
get through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
doing, like, because we didn't know that they were going to do JobKeeper. We didn't know
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly.
And then they did, which really,
Scary.
it really saved us and, our staff. And, they gave the business a bit of an injection as well, which was good.
Yeah.
But that was a scary time, man.
Oh, man, I can only
and it
imagine.
more felt like everything that you built, like you built this, like you, and then it just now you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, are we going to open back up? When we open back up, are people going to come again?
Yeah. Is it ever going to be the same?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
yeah. But it has been, so it's good.
So during COVID, did you come in here with the partner and carry on a bit?
Yeah, we did.
Did you get the DJ set back out again and get
No,
rolling
actually,
again?
what we really did do is I took home all my game consoles.
Oh, true. And just playing them at
And
home.
we just
yeah,
literally
genius.
drank all day and played Super Mario
Well, what
Bros.
else do you do?
It was so...
That's all we were doing, eh?
Honestly, it was like one of some of the best months of my life, to be honest. I was like, let's just relax.
Relaxing, eh?
Drinking at 2 p.m.
The ones you treasure.
Yeah, because we don't do that now.
I don't.
Never.
You don't.
Not a chance.
Never, ever,
We're all
ever.
adults here.
So with that, obviously you went home in lockdown. There's all those videos you make. You've got a decent following on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'm
My
not...
brother is always playing your songs for us,
Really?
straight up, bro. Like, I'll come
See, I
out.
don't know. I don't put enough evidence. For a while there, I like I was going to try and do something like that. Like everyone does it. It wasn't for a fame thing. It was because I had a really funny kid.
Yeah,
You know,
I was about to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that.
I went back and watched a heap of those. Actually.
Where-
I just had a funny kid, and I just wanted to document it all.
Was that the idea behind it? Was
Yeah,
just
yeah. And the
that
only
funny?
reason why it picked up any traction is because some way more famous people than me thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And would reposted it.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, this is like 7 years ago before people were getting famous. Now there's people that are way more have overtaken me because I just didn't put any effort in.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. You know, the kid grew up, and then it was an effort to make videos, and
Well, man, it's an effort.
it's an effort. Like I'm sure doing this at the same time as trying to make clothes and doing podcasts and
Yeah.
staying relevant is hard. But yeah, so it started going like pretty good, and then I
Yep.
stopped. Like it stopped pretty dead. But you know, people like Everyone Loves a Kid video, and she was.
Oh yeah, 100.
She's the funniest.
Funny.
They were good
She's
giggles,
so-
man. Good giggles.
She's. I watch her back now, and you know what? It's really good that we'll be able to look back and fucking when she's older.
18th birthday, bring
yeah,
her
and
out.
I'm like, this is you when you were one. Me and
Yeah.
you talking about.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's a lot of the reason why we started doing the vlog in the first place. Is 'cause
Yeah, we look back.
there's nothing better than just like looking back.
Yeah,
at, like,
Gee, they were rubbish,
Imagine,
bro.
imagine when you're looking back now and thinking how like you fucking young hot little kids.
Bro, we took, because we started in COVID, we took all the photos. Like, I think my brother sent down his camera. We didn't have camera. We didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
He sent down his camera. We rocked that. And me and Tommy were the models. Obviously, Tommy, great model. Me,
No,
not so much. Ken, great with poses, me. But other than that,
Dude,
Got a head for
you
radio.
were probably the hottest
The
guy. I know,
angry
man.
looks.
You were the hottest guy. I know. I would have you in literally any of my fucking shit. Take photos of the bar. Take photos from my music clips.
100%, you got to have him in there somewhere.
Yeah. But it's just fun to look back on those start parts, like looking at the gear that we started with. I'm like, what the?
Oh
What the fuck
yeah,
was that
man.
They were
Or just looking at some of the photos we took. were average.
and that's the thing. You get
same pose.
with everyone doing this shit now. You're under a lot of pressure to make it so good. Like and I just couldn't keep up with that. I
Yeah.
just didn't want to do it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I want to put my creativity into doing something like this or whatever. And I was like, yeah. So it's not like it was I got to any super fame or anything.
Yeah.
It was just it started getting a bit of a following, and then it just stopped there.
Yeah.
I don't want people to look at my gram now and be like, fuck, he's not even that good. But 10 years ago when it was happening, it was good. And that came from like also too. I came off The Voice, and
Yeah.
people were like,
Oh, right. So you had a bit from that too.
yeah. Well,
Gotcha.
just people were like, oh, let's listen to this guy sing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like that.
This loser sing.
How will I know he gets played everywhere? Now?
I like that you stopped it. You didn't just try and ride the fame, though. You know.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't never about that. And despite what people think, with tall poppy syndrome and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, like
Yeah,
I wasn't like, fuck yeah, fame. Like I got some friends that are famous.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was another part. You've got a lot of mates. You're just surrounded by obviously very creative people, which is awesome. I love that you've surrounded yourself with those kind of people. Are they just attracted to you? What's the goal?
I don't know. I think I just grew up with a lot of I don't know, genuine people.
Yeah.
And it's really crazy that a lot of these genuine friends are talented and get successful.
Yeah.
And but then also too, I've never cared about. You care a little bit about famous people. Like I've met I've met Hailey Bieber.
Holy
Like
crap.
I'll tell that.
Is that first time for
That's
you?
unreal.
I'll tell that story in a second. But like you're obviously starstruck by famous people.
Surely you kissed
but
her.
ultimately,
Come here, darling.
but ultimately, like people are just people. And if you treat them like I would treat you the same if you were a million followers or if not.
Yeah.
And just try not to be heaps cloudy about it. And so, along the way, I've met people who are really talented and I kind of have some fame. and they're just my mates. So therefore, they want to hang out with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's the way they're just having good friends around me, or whether all my friends have been successful. But I used to play in so doing music. I grew up with a guy called Dom, and he's an insane drummer. Insane. And so he was part of the band, and he used to work at a cafe. And then when he joined my band to do music with functions, he started earning more money than at the cafe. So he quit the cafe, and we became really close homies. And then he gets an email one day, because he's such a lovely guy. Gets an email one day saying, "Oh, there's a band that's kind of going on tour. They've just lost their drummer. Do you want to drum for them? We've seen you." So he does that, and then
who's that for?
2 years later, the band's getting an ARI award.
Wow. No way.
The Gang of Youths.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So he and this happened in front of my eyes, you know what I mean? And
that's incredible.
But it was because I loved, not because, I'm not saying I was already friends with him, because I loved him, and then that happened organically in the meantime, and now we're good friends. And he was playing at a wedding with us, like literally the day before he goes to the ARI. So he's at someone's wedding, cool. Like playing. Yeah, that's so it's really cool. So yeah, it's not like it's a cloudy thing, or like that I've got famous friends, or I'm just trying to surround. It just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah, it just happens, and it's
back to being authentic and genuine.
Yeah. That's really probably the sponsor of this podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
Authenticity.
Be yourself. All right.
Because everyone else is taken.
That's it.
Thomas Cronin quote: "Live by it."
Oh, so can I tell this? He's funny.
Yeah,
Hailey Bieber
story.
I love stories.
Okay, I always think about telling this story if I ever get famous, and I'm on Oprah or fucking Ellen or something.
This is pretty close.
This is the
this
story.
Is very
so
close.
I'll waste it now.
6 subscribers, listen up.
So me and my best friend Angus Harper, I used to live with him in Mo. We organised this crazy America trip. We were both single at the time. We're like, let's just go to America, and we'll just fucking plan this hectic trip. And it just so happens we planned this trip a year out, and then the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight happened. So
like where this is
that was 10 years in the making. So what happened is when we'd already booked all our places and our penthouses, and everything was cheap because it was in like some fucking quiet month.
And then it was announced.
That was announced. So everything, like P. Diddy's in the fucking same hotel that we are and shit. You know what I mean? Like everything was just crazy.
Yeah.
We met some crazy people. Met Dan Bilzerian when we fucking had a club. Like we'd rock up to these clubs.
Is he tiny?
That we already had tickets for, kind of. But he was in a booth with heaps of chicks, and I was just like,
of course
hey.
He was.
So like we're going to these clubs, and we've already got tickets because we bought them ages ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, boys. And I'm like, no, we've got tickets. And they're like, not a fucking chance, you boys got tickets. And we get them up, and then they're like, oh. Okay, and then we just stood in there being
That's incredible.
But anyway, so
that's loose.
There's one particular night on a Tuesday, and here's the other thing: like these things happen, like not because we're anyone, but because
they
it's
just happen.
Like, just happen. And same with all my friends.
I need to go to America, man.
It's a Tuesday. We're in New York. And we're just drunk every day.
Wake up, regret life, go again.
Mo's got some good friends who have moved over to New York and are kind of doing the nightclub scene.
Yeah.
And he goes, look, you got to go to this club, Uptown, I think it's called.
Ah.
Not Uptowns, but Uptown.
Uptown.
Uh-huh.
And it's like Uptown Tuesdays. And so, I'm like, yeah, cool. And he goes, my friend's the host there, but he's not working tonight, so I message him, he'll come out front. So we message him. The guards at the door, they're like, you're not coming in. We're like, we got a message from Ronnie or something. And we look at him and they go, yeah, okay, cool. And then
straight in. Just like when you message Tommy Cronin out front of brewery.
Yeah.
Let me in, man.
Oh shit. And then we find him inside and he goes, come up to my booth. I go, I'm partying some of my friends too. And we're like, yeah. We're just two young whippersnappers from Newey. And we roll in, and I recognise there's a the brand The People Versus.
Yeah.
So I recognised that I liked the same thing. I liked their stuff before it was kind of blowing up, and there was a photo shoot that a particular photographer did, and he's sitting in the booth, and I'm like, how the fuck
am I
in New York? Yeah. And the photographer that I follow from a brand back in Australia is sitting in the booth.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
sick.
It's crazy. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, blowing my mind. I'll send you the photo. Flick it up.
Oh, yeah, well.
Can you do that shit?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Tommy Cronin can do anything.
Anyway, his name's Joey Tamini, and I'm like, are you Joey? And like, it was such a fucking Fanboy moment.
moment.
And then anyway, we start talking and there's 5 other people in the booth, but I'm not noticing them at all because I've seen this guy that's familiar to
You've
me.
locked eyes.
So we're sitting there talking and we're pounding and I sit.
You what?
Pound
Pound Town, baby.
So anyway, I'm facing him. He's over here, and there's a girl sitting next to me, and I've got my back to her, and I'm talking to him. We get a photo, and I say, you know, the People Versus, and he's crazy. And Angus happened to be wearing a People Versus shirt,
Oh, perfect.
so he fucking takes a photo of it, and we're homies. We got all the bottle service. We're in this club that looked like on a Tuesday. It's full, and we're sitting in the top booth up the top. And I was
so
like,
cool.
I felt like a full blown. Like a hot chick at a pool party, you know, up in a
Bazarian
DJ booth.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So anyway, I eventually feel heaps rude for this chick sitting next to me because I'm like fucking pull back to her. So I turn to her and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, yeah, gosh, off me. Because
You've been off her.
Yeah, and I've been hanging out with this guy. So she's off me and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm saying, what's your name? She goes, my name's Hailey.
Oh, no way.
So I go,
kidding
I can't wait for
Far
it. Wait for it. I go, so what you do with yourself?
Oh
I had no. What do you do with yourself? Like fucking the music's going on drink. I'm like,
Oh my
so what do you do with yourself? And she looks fucking disgusted. But here's the thing: she wasn't like famous then. She was just
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin's fucking kid.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
oh, not kid, but you know,
Yeah.
auntie, uncle, whatever.
Nephew, sister.
Yeah. She had about 1 million followers at the time, but I think like she was hanging out with Bieber like that day. Like
Yeah.
when we went home and found out, we like saw her stories and everything. So anyway, I'm like, what do you do with yourself? And just chatting, and I could tell she was off me. And I was like, why is this bitch off me? And it was because obviously this booth was sitting in was full of famous
Yeah,
people.
and you were just
and me and Angus are just like, don't give a fuck. So we're like, and it was like the ultimate like fuck you to celebrity. Like I didn't know who any of them were.
Yeah,
Like some of them were Olympians and shit. And I had no idea. So with me and Angus are like, these hoes ain't loyal. Like, fucking yeah. And then anyway, by the end of it, we sit. We're like, you know, it's a bit of a lull in the music, and the guys have kind of all peeled off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, you know. Maybe they've ditched us, bro. And they ditched us 100% to go to after parties. And anyway, we get home and I look up Joey Tomini and I'm like, fuck, I wonder who all the other people were that he was hanging with tonight. And I message him and I'm like, man, thank you so much. Like, that was lovely. And I sent him the photo of us and everything. And I look at some of his tagged photos and I'm like, oh, that's that Hailey chick. And I click on her and I'm like, this is like Alec Baldwin's niece, man. And I look at Angus, I'm like, she's got like a million followers. And then now she married Justin Bieber.
You could have been there, bro.
I could
You could have been Justin Bieber.
If you didn't turn your back.
If I wasn't frothing on some dude instead of getting steezy
This
with
photographer.
her. Imagine if
You're
I had
surrounded with celebrities and you're like the photographer, dude.
the guy that
The guy
no
that
one
takes
knew.
photos of the
guy that,
celebrities.
and he
She would have been heaps off that too, because she would have been like, oh, what do you mean I'm way
Dude,
more
he
famous?
even said it. Angus can back me up on this. He even goes, oh, you know, I said, what are you doing? He goes, oh, we did a photo shoot with Hailey today. And he's trying to point her out to
Yeah,
us, going
yeah.
like, look who's fucking over there. And I'm like, hey. It was just fucking absolute. It was like a scene out of Dumb and Dumber.
That's so good.
Do you know what
That's
I
right.
mean?
Your life is a sitcom, bro. It really is.
I'm thinking about starting some type of maybe a video series of my crazy stories. I've got any crazy stories.
You got to do
Hey, bro, got some
animated
gear
or
if you need it.
something.
Yeah, okay, I'll borrow some.
It's yours, bro. Aunt May, thank you. Anyways, Tommy, you got anything else, bro?
How about wrap us up, bro?
Test.
What do you
Wrap
got?
it up. What's that?
As long as you make me look skinny, because I put on a bit of COVID weight, man. I'm really worried about that shit.
But you look fine.
You look
man.
really good, man.
100%, you look great.
How's the moustache?
Looks unreal.
Moustache,
bro.
your question.
Yeah, I was looking back at all your Instagram photos, doing our research. That's how we do research.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
we just checked the
How's the beard you used to have?
Yeah, well,
Dude,
bring it
okay,
back,
It's
bro.
absolutely
Bring it
massive.
back.
That's another thing. I fucking, I'm a hairy man.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
bro,
when
I feel you there.
When I had a beard,
You haven't hit puberty yet.
and this is just going to sound again like I'm just fucking talking about myself, but I promise I'm not. So we remember when
It's literally what this is. We
I
want to
had-
talk about you.
I
That's
had
what we-
I had this big fucking beard, dude. Big beard, and then everyone started getting into the lumberjack look,
Yeah.
and slicking
yeah.
their hair, barbers and everything. And I was like, well, now I feel like that I've just done it because everyone else is doing it. But I had mine for ages. Like,
Yeah.
you've seen back then.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
like the
man.
shoes and everything.
Yeah, and so then I
OG.
so then I cut it off because I hated that I was like everyone else.
on the bandwagon.
Oh, shit, man. TM. Let's go. I love that
That's
shit,
fantastic.
man.
Yeah, so I had it and then I chopped it, but
Are you thinking about bringing it back?
maybe the missus loves it. She got some kind of.
Yeah.
Can you bring it back,
Fetish.
bro?
Yeah.
I'd love to see it because I can't grow it.
Really?
Not as good as that.
You got it. It was good.
Not as good as that, man.
How's mine?
Tommy Cronin's
Mine's
coming
going
along.
alright, or what? That's 25
Every time, I cut Tommy Cronin's hair, you get out. Hey, bro, can you shave my beard up, man?
Yeah, just shave the beard up.
Did your missus want one?
Oh,
beard?
nah, not really. She likes the shaved head. Okay, I'm going to keep the
Yeah,
head.
keep that
Nah,
shaved.
no, give us a look at it now.
It's getting longer, bro. It grows that quick, man.
I cut that
my
last
my
week,
hair's
G.
the fastest.
Here's my
growing hair
thing
in
though.
Australia.
If you've got good hair now, you might not have it later.
I don't know,
Man,
bro.
I honestly,
I
I
don't
think
think you will lose
my hair
hair.
will never go. It,
See me, bro. I'm back in
honestly
Vietnam,
shaved- this
cuz
is like a week.
week and a half, yeah.
We skin shaved
Number-
that on
number
the
three.
side, and it's like it just comes.
And it was
So
straight.
she loves
fast
the.
too,
Why does
bro.
she love the shaved head? A little bit criminal.
Makes him go
looking.
faster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I bet she
intimidation
does.
effect, man. I'm the least intimidating person ever. So
Yeah, no,
it's
you're the
just
friendliest guy I know, so maybe she wants you to toughen up a little bit. I can imagine she's like, oh no, I'm not even going to go down there.
Yeah, don't.
That was way too fucking. I started
I
diving
see where
right
you're
into
going.
boy
Everyone
chat.
else sees where you're going. Oh, shit.
PG.
Well, what an absolute pleasure.
This was fantastic,
This has
man.
been a good yarn.
Honestly, can't thank you enough for your time, bro.
Dude,
This
I
place
reckon
is
we could
unreal.
literally talk for 2
Oh,
hours. To be
100%
honest,
we
I don't know. It's talking about me feels awkward, but when you're talking to people that are also kind of in the same boat as doing something, going out on a limb,
Yeah,
it's easy, it's fun, and
man, that's why we started this. In the
big
first place,
props
so.
to you guys, man. Too seriously. And like
Bandwagon.
putting the effort in, no one realizes. Imagine if this all blows up, and then you're like, we fucking really put in the hard yards before.
Yeah.
This is like our 30th podcast. This is big for us, bro.
Consistently been having like 6 listeners. We're killing it, bro.
Nah, we
It's
got
like
70
7.
subscribers now, bro, thanks to KP and Matty Croaks.
Yeah,
Woo,
thank you.
we got
Thank you, KP.
we want to get 30 off them,
Yeah.
30, 40 off them.
We'll
Beauty.
get
We'll probably get another
30
60 off Jerome.
I know he's got
No, you'll get 7 off me. Got no reach.
Ah,
no reach.
shit. And don't forget to get down to Uptowns, opened.
Wednesday to Sunday.
There you go. Get here, get a purple drink. Want some of that purple drink?
Like that purple drink.
We love that shit, man. Yeah, once again, thanks for joining us on the Bandwagon Bible. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
We finally teed it
Appreciate
up.
it.
We're
Oh.
together. Life's good.
Love you, bro.
I'm just going to hit this
Thank you.
button. No. Purple, my G.
Whoa.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah.
Rolling up
You-
in
yeah.
the Midwest. Coming at you for some good sex. Yeah.